What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be speaking on a rapper I grew up listening to, C-Murder of No Limit Records, who is now on a hunger strike in prison due to COVID-19 conditions and evidence that's being withheld from his trial. Before we get into this video, please do me a favor and hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and turn to all if you guys want to see more videos like this one.
Miller, better known as C-Murder, is now serving life in prison without parole for the 2002 killing of Steve Thomas at a Harvey nightclub. In 2009, a jury voted 10-2 to convict him, but Miller maintains his innocence. Two witnesses whose testimonies ultimately led to his conviction recanted their statements and said Miller did not pull the trigger.
Alright, so there you heard it. Two witnesses that originally had said that he had pulled the trigger recanted in their testimony and said he was not the one that pulled the trigger. There you also heard that the jury had found him guilty on a 10-2 decision, but the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled non-unanimous jury verdicts are unconstitutional, but the High Court ruled the decision does not apply retrospectively to his case. I really don't see how, if this is a non-unanimous verdict, that he can be held accountable for this crime and how this does not apply to his trial. So C-Murder is on hunger strike at the Elaine Hunt Correctional Center in St. Gabriel over concerns about COVID-19 and the status of his trial, according to a news release issued by his family. Family members of Corey Miller, who records and performs as C-Murder, said he has been placed in dorms with COVID-19 inmates. The family said Miller has told them that this has resulted in abnormally long quarantine times and an increase in positive COVID-19 cases in the jail. Now, I know for a fact if you get put in a cell or even in a dorm with someone that has COVID-19, that shit's gonna spread like wildfire. Just like everything in jail, basically all the infectious diseases, tuberculosis, things like that. Everybody that goes into a jail cell has to be tested for tuberculosis before they're put into population, because if they're put into a dorm with someone else with tuberculosis, it's going to spread to everybody. A statement from Miller's attorney, Benjamin Crump, and Ronald Haley Jr. says DOC and the Hunt warden are not enforcing the mask mandate or requiring employees to get vaccinated. No one in the state of Louisiana has sentenced to contract nor die from COVID-19, the statement says. Now, I can't personally say I agree with their statements because the mask mandate to me is a joke, and requiring people to get vaccinated is a big joke to me. I think it should definitely be your choice whether you want to be vaccinated or not. I think it should also be your choice whether you want to wear a mask or not, because at the end of the day, you're protecting your health when you wear the mask or when you get the shot. Now, if you don't want to get vaxxed or you don't want to have a mask on, that should be totally up to you, in my personal opinion. And if you're so worried about getting COVID, then you should mask up and get the vaccination. Miller's family also alleges that on top of inadequate health care, he claims that Jefferson Parish District Attorney withheld documents and evidence. Jefferson Parish District Attorney Paul Connick's office declined to comment on the allegations, saying the office doesn't comment publicly on open litigation. Now, this is something I can agree to. You know, if anybody's done any research about C-Murder's case, they would easily find out that there's so much stuff that went to trial that shouldn't have been used. I don't think they should have convicted him on certain things, like just by his name or by his lyrics, because at the end of the day, I feel like anybody that's using stuff like that in their lyrics doesn't mean they're living it. Doesn't mean that just because someone talked about murdering someone in their lyrics that they should be convicted of murder.
Prosecutor pointed to C-Murder and said, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is his name, C-Murder." Now, if a person got a name, C-Murder, you know that they must be guilty of murder. That's wrong.
At one point during a bond hearing, C-Murder's blunt lyrics were read in the courtroom.
What does his lyrics have to do with whether or not he should be given bond? So does his profession, does his line of work, does hip-hop play some role in these things? Apparently it did to these folks.
Miller is currently serving a sentence of life without parole. A jury voted 10-2 on August 11, 2009 to convict him in the death of Stephen Thomas, who was shot and killed at Platinum Club in Harvey in 2002. Days later, Miller was arrested for the killing, and like I said before, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled non-unanimous jury verdicts are unconstitutional, but the High Court ruled the decision doesn't apply retroactively to his case. So once again, I do not know how these rules do not apply to his case. I don't know how they can convict him on something when he was guilty from a 10-2 verdict. I just do not see how this does not apply to his case. It's unbelievable to me. The family claims the Jefferson Parish District Attorney has evidence that shows an illegal DNA cover-up that was not presented to Miller or his attorneys and only discovered after his post-conviction relief had already been filed. In addition to this cover-up, the witnesses that the state provided have since come forward and signed affidavits stating Miller's innocence, the family's statement said. The witnesses stated that they were forced by the police to give false information and to testify against him in court. In addition to copious amounts of witnesses at the scene had come forward stating that Miller was not the perpetrator of this crime. So to me, this sounds pretty standard of the police. A lot of the times in these cases, people are forced to say certain statements and do things that they normally would not say or do. Sometimes the police put on a lot of pressure onto these witnesses to say a lot of things that are just made up.
And one of the witnesses came forward and said, well, it wasn't him. I saw the guy who it was. It wasn't Corey Miller.
When she was questioned by the police, she told them that although she had never seen Corey Miller with a gun, she had seen someone else. And in fact, she said that she was shown photographs by the police and that she identified a person in those photographs as the person she had seen with a gun. She said the police told her they weren't interested in that person. They were only interested in Corey Miller.
I've probably heard of things like this happening a billion times, to be honest. And I've been following the C murder trial and his imprisonment for a long time. Like I said, I grew up listening to C murder, and I feel like he has been wrongly convicted just by hearing different things like from his lawyers. And man, this man has been fighting this forever, since 2002. I think if they can't make a unanimous decision on the case and get all the facts straight, that they need to free this man. He's been fighting for his life for a long time. And if anybody does any kind of research on this, you will also see that this man probably should be freed. But everybody, please let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Until next time.